right. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Citizens United. And, of course, my name is John Restaino. There's a lot of things we got to go over today. And first off, as you saw at the beginning, we are now Guerrillas Inc. And pretty happy to be there. And it's outstanding that is our new production company. So, and of course, Wade is here. He is behind the glass doing some, all the technical stuff. Robin is here. She's doing what she normally does. So, we are Guerrillas Inc. now. And, of course, all the same programming will be on Guerrillas Inc. That was on Gold Medal Media. Now it's just called Guerrillas Inc. That's all. Just a switch in names. The other thing that was interesting to me about Guerrillas Inc.'s change was, and not interesting to me, I guess it would be something that the viewer out there, you knew about Gold Medal Media. Guerrillas Inc. now has become a bigger partnership along with Wade. And gosh, I feel horrible that my other two partners, Brian and Jeff, are our other two partners. And so you're going to see a lot of stuff coming. We have a lot of shows. We have a lot of things in the works, even with the 4 and 5 that we already have. So, just keep following us. And, of course, here on Citizens United, we're going to keep on following all the local news and going to where people might not want us to go, which is, oh, by the way, if you hear some birds chirping, well, we have a couple windows open here because it's a beautiful, beautiful day. So listen to that. Beautiful birds singing in the background. And you can't beat that. How you doing, Robin, over there?
Doing good, just sharing.
Thank you. Keep sharing. Wade, how's it going?
I'm doing great. It's beautiful outside. Birds are chirping, like you said. We're
Yeah.
going to have a great show.
Yes, we are. We may have a surprise guest. It's very possible before the show ends. We might have someone surprise us here. We'll see how that goes. Well, first off, I think once everyone gets ready here, I'm going to, we had an incredible last Wednesday. We went to the Fossil fundraiser. We peacefully went outside, and I think we broadcast for almost 2 hours or so, maybe 3. And our whole point there was to, bring awareness to the city of Niagara Falls and let the residents know the connections. And that's what we've always done on the show. It was to teach everyone the connections, or because I know. Me, Wade, Robin, everybody else, we are paying attention to it, but other people, I don't blame you for not, because, you're busy. Day in and day out, you're busy. It's hard to stay on top of this. And sometimes I used to get frustrated and thinking, geez, it's easy to vote here, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, as long as you know the connections, you can, it's almost a roadmap to voting, So, we did that there. I mean, it was basically connecting Faso to D'Angelo for the people to see. It was outstanding. I was so happy for the Del Zappos, and they were able to see that the people of Niagara Falls, the citizens, not the people on Facebook that do what they do or Twitter, the actual citizens of Niagara Falls stopping, asking, listening to the story. Again, unfortunately, we find someone else who is now claiming to be a victim. I don't know anything about that, and I know that the person did talk to Noelle, right? Yeah.
Yes.
And go ahead, Robin.
We even had people stopping and offering money to help Noelle's defense, and there was people that were completely unaware of the whole situation that's going on with Nick D'Angelo, and people were driving by, honking their horns, giving us thumbs up. And we must have had 30 people stop and ask us questions. And I think it's great. I think we really informed a good chunk of people that weren't seeing it elsewhere.
I think we did great for the Del Zappos. I'm glad they felt some relief on Wednesday. Monday, we actually, the news Channel 4, they showed up.
Mm-hmm.
That was the only news that showed up, and they didn't look very interested at all.
Yeah, we got a clip, huh?
We do have a clip of that. Let me throw it up.
Attorney from Niagara Falls, who was accused of sexually assaulting 3 women, went before a judge today. Nicholas D'Angelo is charged with rape, sexual abuse, and unlawful imprisonment. Prosecutors say he committed the crimes between 2016 and 2019. He faces up to 35 years in prison if convicted on all charges. Several protesters gathered outside the courthouse calling for justice for the victims.
We're not happy that he was able to walk free with no bail, nothing. We want to know why.
And there was Gail Del Zappo, Noelle's mom, holding the sign and talking to Channel 4, who, like Wade said, just seemed very disinterested. And the funny thing is, I did not see, there's a local, I mean, we didn't get anyone. No one showed up. WLVL, who else could you think about? I mean, the Gazette's not there. The Buffalo News isn't there. I mean, if they were there, we certainly didn't see them.
And we know that reporters are watching, because some reporters have told us they wish they could be doing this story. So
yeah, they wish they could get in depth. The thing is, we sit on a lot here, you guys. I mean, we sit on a lot of information at Citizens United. We really do. We've sat on a ton. Every story we do, what we give out is about all that we can without maybe getting ourselves in some kind of trouble. We have a lot of information. And the funny thing is, as people continue to show themselves, that information now is going to be revealed. Whether it's on this show, whether it's on a different way from Guerrillas Inc. But, you know, when some people should realize it'd be better off being quiet, because when you start, you keep going, what ends up happening is you reveal yourself for what you are. And, Wade, what did you think of, like Wednesday night? An incredible, it was better than I even imagined.
Wednesday night was great. I'm glad that the Del Zappos had some type of relief there. I really want to continue this process, go to their offices. I know there's one on Pine in Niagara Falls. I know there's one on Market in Lockport. So, yeah, we are going to keep on going after Nick D'Angelo and Janelle Faso. These people need to be exposed, and we're not going to let the victims continue to be victimized.
Well, with victims, and we were talking about this earlier, it's sad because they never really get the full thing what they deserve. Because generally, hopefully in this situation, at least if D'Angelo's found guilty, let's hope he actually gets a sentence. Who knows here? We hope. But there's so many victims that never get what they deserve, due to the fact of statutes of limitations. Even in civil court, people think, oh, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. No, it's not. Because those guys that are sitting there that are either rapists or pedophiles, all they're going to do is pay their way. And what they can do, they're given so much time. Assets are sold. Things are gone. Suddenly they have nothing. So you should think a little more before you go after victims, because it's not what you think. And I've yet to find one that enjoys going through this process. Go ahead, Robin. I know you're going to say something.
The most sad thing that I think I saw on Wednesday night, everything else that I personally witnessed was absolutely positive, except when a certain council member came out of and we weren't harassing anyone, we weren't yelling out to anyone, but we did record this councilman coming out of the Como and laughing and waving while
he was waving,
Del Zappo, the father of a rape victim, was standing there with tears in his eyes holding a sign for justice for his daughter.
Yeah, he came out like you'd have thought he was just the first star. He won the Conn Smythe Trophy. He was dancing and waving. I mean, we watched him. John was with us, Fidel. I mean, we had positive identification on him. We didn't have on one God, I don't know if the mayor of Lockport was there or not, but so we can't really positively ID her. But Boy,
It doesn't look like it.
yeah. But I'm starting to believe that the back door was being used more than we probably had figured. But that's fine. We weren't even really there for that. It ends up into that. I mean, no one that walked in that door got filmed. No one who walked out the door got filmed. None of them. You could watch it. There was no filming of anyone. Even the people that started yelling at us, we didn't film because we did have. Then there's the controversy. Let's talk about the controversy, Wade, because the stream ends and. The stream ends at 8. We ended about 8:30, 8:35.
Right.
We leave. Me and Robin leave. You stuck around talking with Noelle and Noelle's friend, and you guys are just standing across the street talking.
There's a few people there, and
Yeah.
we seen what happened. There was a group of people that came out, which now one of the people kind of walked around the corner and tried to take photos of us, which was a little weird. But the big thing was this is a person running for a judge, and she came out yelling obscenities and also giving us the finger, and basically gets to her car. Oh my goodness, it was like she was watching
Definitely.
the live stream,
Had to
waiting
be.
for us to stop. Oh my goodness, we missed out on 20 seconds of gold.
Yeah.
And she gets in her car, does a U-turn before she could drive
Right.
past us, and leaves.
And and there's been a fight about that online where people, no, she didn't. You know what I wish I could do, but obviously they wouldn't do this. I'd love to get that footage because there's cameras. There's a camera right there. I know the police, on the street, because that was where, unfortunately, Mr. Antonacci or the Como, the old, he got hit by a car there, and that's why there's a new crosswalk. It actually has his name there, and I believe there is a camera. I'd love for somehow to be able to get that footage, because the nonsense online about if she did that or didn't, which really is irrelevant. It's kind of like a smokescreen, because that's the least of the worries if she did that or not. You know what I mean? Right. And there's no doubt they knew the live stream was coming to an end, and they had to. Whatever. I mean, it was a great event, and proud of it.
More to come.
Yeah, more to come.
Absolutely.
Yeah, more to come.
Another thing because there's so much stuff to this story.
I know.
It's the residency law that Janelle
right.
is just 6 weeks ago. And now she moved, and she's already running for judge after moving 6 weeks ago. Yeah. It's weird how she still owns a $200,000 plus home, but she moved to an apartment, and now she's running for judge in that area.
Yeah.
So I let the viewers decide what they think about that.
Yeah, right? No, it's because we know what happened. You just gotta want to not know. Obviously, she knew she had to move into the city from the town of Niagara, and she found a loophole. But it's only because everyone lets it happen. Because really, if someone with authority could pay attention for once, it would end. It would have to end, or at least I would imagine the Niagara Falls, the Board of Elections can investigate. Mm-hmm. And whether it be the county or somebody would investigate to see where is she staying her time, and that's the problem. No one will do it. Right. No one. And I don't get it, because the Board of Elections has been notified. People have called. I know 2 people that personally, just residents that called, voters. They just don't do anything. It falls on deaf ears. They don't call back. And why? Is it just because it's too much work? Because I'll tell you this. I've said this a million times. In the county, in the city of Lockport, in the city of Niagara Falls, a guy making $13 an hour, they'll certainly put they'll put a whole thing on him to make sure he's living in the city. Yep. But you got someone here. This job too. This city court job, it's got to be one of the best in the city. I mean, it's well over $100,000. I believe it's part-time still, and they don't care. It's more important than the mayor, because they're sitting in judgment of of residents, and I don't know. I don't understand how it's not more of a big problem, because that right there should put an end to this campaign. Right there. Now, they do say, they argue, and I've seen it online, New York State Senate, people have said you don't have to live in the city to run. But if you get elected, you got to move in. And what I don't understand about that is how much time. Because if you get elected, when's it going to be, in November? You would have to say then the judge that's retiring, do you get what I mean? Like, so you're going to have 2 months to get in here? It just doesn't make an ounce of sense at all. So,
isn't there a residency thing going on with your brother?
yes, the story we have there, it's so everything's a contradiction. Yes, I 2 police officers, 3 actually. Let's call it three officers. I just saw this in the paper the other day. They decided, high-ranking Niagara Falls Police Department officers had decided to retire, and a third accepted a demotion because of the residency law. Now, here's the kick to this whole thing. When the Mayor Deister was there, these 3 officers said they were given a verbal agreement by the Corporation Council that they would never be, this wouldn't be a problem for them. So they're going on, and, obviously they have this verbal agreement, and, here comes the new mayor saying this is all about fairness across the board in all departments. Obviously we know that's not true, because, we got the city administrator living in the town of Niagara, the city administrator who was, it was a bull type thing to get him in there, saying he was grandfathered in because of a job in 1974 or something, that when I talked to councilmen, a couple of them, they had said that they even knew it was garbage, but no one wanted to, I guess, rock the boat. Didn't want to get into it.
This is why you should be councilman.
Right. You got to do what's right.
Yes.
And you're not there as a councilman in any city, I don't believe, to just do financial things. That city charter is important. That city charter is our constitution, pretty much, and it gets trampled on. So now you have that going on in City Hall in the highest level, because really the city administrator makes all the decisions, and major decisions. And now you want to go do this with residency? And it was brought up in the newspaper. I think the lawyer of those police officers, or maybe the union, I don't know who it was, they made that point too. I mean, how do you have the nerve to do that? Mm-hmm. And, because it goes unabated. Mm-hmm. Wade?
Yeah. I don't understand your brother at all. I mean, it's to actually act like a mayor.
Yeah.
And follow what needs to be done. It's nonsense.
I just want to say real quick that I am getting to the comments in the comment section. I share the show to all the groups first. So for the 19 people that have made comments, I'm not forgetting about you. I'm going through them right now.
Okay, if there's any questions,
yes,
we should answer them. If they're in there. I mean, before we weren't really answering. It's not. I'm not saying anything. It's right. No one's. I'm just saying let's answer. If there's actual questions.
We've had compliments on the graphics, Wade.
Cool.
We've had people, just saying hello and that they're glad we're here tonight. Kim Guthrie's always wondering how we're doing, how we're feeling.
Right.
And that's as far as I've gotten so far.
Okay.
I just finished sharing, but I'll let you know as questions come up.
Now, wouldn't you feel though? We talked about Faso running, and she does not live in the city. Now we're talking about this with these police officers. Don't get me wrong, Wade and Robin. I think it's the right thing to make them have to live in the city. But it's really hard to do that when your guy in City Hall doesn't live in the city. And it's just, I don't know how. I just wonder sometimes on the mayor's behalf, how could he have the nerve to make that quote in the paper? I mean, there's no shame. And there's no shame because no one gives a damn. And that includes all the councilmen some are leaving. You got new ones that are trying to run for this. I hope you're paying attention. These things matter. And if they don't matter to you, don't run. I mean, if it's just, I don't want to get on the bad side of this guy or that guy, it doesn't matter. The whole thing isn't about good side or bad side. It's got to be right and wrong. Wait, if you're a councilman, do you sit there and just You know it's garbage. You know, I don't even think, to be honest with you, they said that the city administrator was grandfathered in about a job in 1974 where he would have been 18 years old. So what I'm saying is, if they didn't even get shown proof, no one asked for proof.
If you are the councilman right there and you're not speaking up, you aren't doing your job.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Every one of them did not speak. No one. And they knew it was garbage. That's the thing that frustrates me.
And if a councilman tells you that afterwards, do you not just look at him in disgust?
I don't know what else to say.
Right.
Yeah. Well, there's more as we move on down the road here in this show of disgust. I mean, God. I mean, how many times can... We've had a million stories like this. We went back to when we were having trouble with the group at the NAC, and those guys wouldn't say a word. It was too hard for them to say, we would not like to have this type of group in our city. Couldn't do it. Wouldn't do it. And it continues. And this is why, there's a great, and I'm going to get this guy on our show, Wade, Robin, Tom Christie. He is doing a really good job with... it's called Civics. And what the deal is, he's talking about Niagara Falls. That's it. He's using that as Niagara Falls as his test city. And he's been all around and, all places in Asia and everything else, and everyone talks about Niagara Falls. Everyone there. Well, if you bring it up, they're happy, they smile, they want to be there. And his thing is, how do we make it better? He's been doing this forever. He was doing this before we were, back in the early 2000s, going after the county.
I'm so excited to meet him.
And... So what I'm saying with him, it's a great question, and it's funny. I've been on a few calls with him, and it always goes back to the corruption that's in the city. Yes?
John Fidel made a comment and said, "You're supposed to live in the city 1 year prior."
All right, John. Yeah. I that's what I figured. I figured there had to be there's rules. Mm-hmm. Now the judges. We were talking about this, and I remember this from way back when. It's a different way to run those races. You can't really run them the way you would run a council race or a mayor's race. Right. And we're going to have next week
Dominic Saraceno.
He'll be with us, and we're going to get to interview him. And I know there's things I can't touch on with him. I may try, and he'll just have to say I can't. Whatever, no big deal. I may take a shot, but maybe hypotheticals, maybe things like that. But it's going to be fun. Can't wait to have him on. He's our first person that's running to come here. Mm-hmm. So that'll be nice, yes?
Susanna Riccio says, "I've seen them use 2 addresses. This crap has been going on forever."
Decades, yes. Been going on since I was a kid. Absolutely. Using 2 addresses. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about... It's as simple as this. If I own a home, I don't care where I am, I own that home. I don't care. Why would I leave my home to go to an apartment? Like, it just doesn't make any sense at all.
That your sister-in-law owns.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Yes, your sister-in-law owns.
Susan Retail makes another great comment. "It's all about votes and favors because one hand washes the other. That's why the same people are always in, but just switch seats."
Yes. Yes, I could go back 20 years, and I could look at the council then and tell you who they are today. Like, actually tell you, okay... Yeah, there's Tony Caranto. He reminds me of Ken Tompkins. That kind of thing. Easily, you could put them all together, where it would be
cleaner.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about Tony Caranto would be at every parade, everywhere you want to see him, he'll be.
Right.
Every happy event, whatever it may be. So does he. He does the same thing. We got him same way. I mean, we had Vince Morello, who was on. He's Chris Vascio now. Same thing. I'm a big hawk on money. I'm going to really watch the budget, and you watch nothing. And you just let everything squander away. And now Vascio, who supports Faso, who supports D'Angelo, is running for the 6th District in Niagara Falls for legislature, which was Dennis Virtuoso's old seat, who's been there for a long time and has done really well. The other thing is with Vascio, this is a really crazy race because you got 2 councilmen there. Now, for the city of Niagara Falls and everybody that's listening, it's a great day because you knocked 2 out with 1 stone. You got Tim Heather, who's running, and then you got the other 2. If Heather wins, those 2 are gone. if one of them win, they're both gone anyways, because they're going to go to the legislature and have nothing to do, because they're going to sit there in the minority and whatever. But the city of Niagara Falls really wins for once. It's really a win-win. And honestly, you'd want the non-politician to win and let those two guys go away, but I don't even want to get into it. It's fine. I just know that we're going to win either way. The other thing is that I've been thinking about residency is, think about, Wade, in Lockport, I don't know if you know this, do they have a city charter like thing?
Yeah, we do have a city charter.
Okay. And have you ever read it? Or looked at it even?
Yes.
Yes.
And I don't like some things in there. It
Right.
actually I read it when running for mayor and
Right.
seeing how it is in our charter that our mayor is part-time.
That's what you have a part-time mayor now.
We have a part-time mayor now, and
Niagara Falls was,
yeah.
and they changed it. Yeah.
It shouldn't be part-time.
Right. So he's full-time now, and you know what I don't think they should do, and this is really a minuscule thing that means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it? We were talking about this. This is just very, very. I guess this is a real little thing, but it aggravates me. You got the mayor, and you got, let's say, the city administrator. They got a city car.
Yeah.
No reason for it. They have beautiful cars.
Mm-hmm.
But they bring... Here's what I'm saying. I used to do this when I worked for the county. I drove my car to work. I got in my truck. I brought the truck back. I got in my car and went home. Why do they bring their cars home? What is the point of that? Like, I'll give them this leeway. If the mayor was going to Pittsburgh, let's say, for a seminar,
Okay.
I would let him take the truck. Go ahead, take the city truck. Because, okay, it's city time.
Wouldn't we be saving a lot of money if we just could rent a car that day?
Yes. Yeah, because they're using all obviously the gas.
And the
We got to
expense
lease
of the
them.
car,
Yeah.
The lease, or that's a big payment if you're paying when I was.
And you're right. And with the crunch we're in everywhere, it should be done. Why? Yes?
And then we're putting extra miles on the car for somebody who lives out of the city.
Yes, that is true too. Yeah, I mean, why in the world? I mean, and I know people will just say out there, because they said it about the public information officer. Oh, it's only a $40,000 a year job, $46,000. Starting at 46 isn't bad around here, you know?
Well, if maybe we wouldn't have to cut our Parks and Recreation.
Yes, yeah.
If we had that extra 40,000.
Right. Yeah. No. So now you're right. I mean, and I've read the city charter Robin, as you know, way too many times. I think I've read it 10 times, because I'm always surprised when I think of hearing things, and I have to double check, because I don't believe my own ears and eyes that it's right there and no one cares. Like, what's the point of having it? I mean, if you only obey residency for one thing, you don't for another. I mean, what the hell, man? Just throw it out. I mean, I don't know. Maybe people don't like residency laws. I kind of do. Because if you're going, especially in police, if you're going to be you should be a resident. You should get to know your city.
I want to elect somebody that has been an advocate for our community, not somebody that's just moving in.
Right. And we had that. Now, go ahead, Robin.
I think we should do it in districts like the legislator does.
Oh, like Lockport.
Right, and like Lockport does it, because, I mean, you have all of the Niagara Falls city councilmen from the nicer areas of Niagara Falls, so they're not living in what the normal citizens are living in. They're not, driving down the road where there's homeless people sleeping right on the street, and going through a fast food drive-through and having people knocking on your window asking for money.
And wouldn't you think they would want to keep it out of their neighborhood, so they don't care about it.
They don't.
Right. Niagara Falls, it really blows my mind that it's like that out there. There was actually, from what I heard, a proposal from the mayor of Lockport to open it up like Niagara Falls does. And that is the most ridiculous thing that you could... How could you not think that everybody from Ward 2 out here in Lockport is where the richer area is? That's going to be where all your council is if you switch it, Mayor Roman, and that is just nonsense to even think like
Is she really bringing that up, huh? Have you heard that?
I've heard from a couple people that's a proposal.
Geez, I think the council will probably love it. I'm sure they'll say yes, because it only helps them, I assume. I mean, I know in the Falls, I mean, you've got everyone... Really, it's LaSalle and it's DeVoe. You don't have anyone in the center city. You don't have anyone in the north end. You don't have any of that. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. It's always been that way too. It's never been different at least not in my lifetime. So yes, Lockport, you got to fight against that. The people of Lockport, don't allow it if you can stop it. I mean, we've had things in Niagara Falls that the entire citizens were against, and they still didn't care, and they even showed up at meetings, saying how they were against it, and they still would not care and look at them and vote the other way. So, well, if it ever comes about, we're definitely getting on that. Mm-hmm. We'll have to do a live stream somewhere. Even if it's at here, and if it's at the council meeting, whatever, we'll definitely have to do that because you can't have it, man.
Seems like in a lot of ways, Lockport kind of follows Niagara Falls playbook for a little bit. It's just a little behind them, you know what I mean? In many areas,
right?
Last thing we want to see is garbage tax coming out here added on.
Right.
It's already on our taxes, So
yeah,
it's nonsense, and it's really ridiculous how. In the town of Niagara, town of Lockport,
right.
You got waste management there who you can actually throw garbage out.
Right.
Out here. It's a problem. These are what seems so minute is problems that just add up, and it's happening in Niagara Falls and Lockport.
Yeah. Well, I know, like
with no council to help us.
Right. Well, yeah, and in the Falls, this is one thing that I've gone on and on about. The mayor set up a social justice commission. It was supposed to deal with everything, policing, all the way down to educate, and all of it. Obviously, unfortunately, was set up with people that have so much money, $100,000. These people are making. They don't know anything about what's happening. So you have them, and we have. I don't know how Lockport is. Well, you would know because you're involved. Here, and we're in Lockport. In Niagara Falls, the homeless is incredibly large. I mean, I haven't seen it like this ever, where it almost feels like I'm in a, there's people laying on Main Street in the morning when I'm going to going to do what I got to do. They're laying there. They're sleeping on Main, and man, and so now the mayor drives by that. He has to go by there when he goes to work. Because DeVoe has to cut through Main Street at least, so you do have to see it. Isn't there ever a thought like, hey, why don't I Google something? I can get onto Google, and this is simple, and I'm not saying it would work, but how about you look and see how do other cities handle the homeless? Something. Get something going, nothing. Lockport, how are they that you know of?
Lockport's homeless population isn't as big as Niagara Falls by far. What you're saying is happening on Main Street is also happening on Pine. Is also,
right.
I mean, there's many areas that are just overwhelmed with homeless people, and there's not enough space to get them into shelters. So, and out here in Lockport, we have Lockport Cares, but we need more help than that out here because in Lockport Cares, for example, great organization, but we don't have the room to where we can really extend visits past 2 weeks.
Right.
So, I mean, it's really hard to become not homeless in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. There is a lot of things that we can do.
Yeah.
And it actually is going to take the city realizing that our homeless problem is the root cause of our crime, is the root cause of our poverty. And it's not saying that the homeless people are doing it, but if a homeless person we have petty larceny out here in Lockport. That is just ridiculous numbers. When I was running for mayor, it said that in that year we had double the amount of petty larceny charges than North Tonawanda, and that screams out poverty.
Yeah.
So if we would not arrest people for petty larceny and make them have the option of, you go to jail or you go to vocational school. Once you reach milestones, we can give you a stipend so you can stay in. And this will create less poverty, will create less homelessness.
You guys can tell me if I'm wrong. This is just, there's no way to get through poverty or homelessness without government intervention. I find it hard to believe that how can you not? You'd have to, because who else is going to take care of that issue? I know there's great obviously, independent-like places that'll do what they do. But I always thought that that's one thing I think government has to be involved in, is because I don't know what else you do. Niagara Falls is starting to really, mirror big city problems with no money, with none of the big city things that go along with it. The only thing we have to go along with it is the falls, and really the falls is great, they're claiming we have 9 million people in the summer go through Niagara Falls. It's an incredible amount of people, and but the homeless isn't down there. They're not on Goat Island, because if they were, the state would do something. Because go ahead, Robin.
Those 9 million people, they might stay at the hotels on our side because it's so much cheaper.
Right.
But there's so much more to do on the Canadian side that's where they go and spend their money.
Right. Yeah, no, definitely. And I just...
and you spoke about it before with our bed tax. We're not getting any money. You're not getting any money in Niagara Falls because nothing's being charged.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's all going to Albany, the money you get.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what these places like Lockport, Niagara Falls do with the money that's coming. It's coming. I don't know how much it's going to be, but the federal government's sending some money to these cities, and it might be substantial. I had saw $58 million to Niagara Falls, maybe a little more. I don't know. We'll see now. This will be a good test of the mayor. Let's see. This will be the real... I mean, already I think some things have been a little messed up, and there's been a few good, there's been some bad, whatever. Let's see what happens now when you get this money. What are you going to do? It'll be...
Restaino, are you going to just do what everybody's been doing in the past where nothing works, or are you going to actually be innovative here?
You got to be innovative. You've got to... you got to make sure, too, because, the Department of Public Works is like your... It's the blood. It's the heart of the city. Because without them, you can't drive in the snow. If all that stuff. So they're down like men. And I know someone told me they were down like 4 guys for plow driving, which means a CDL license, and they're trying to hire them at $13.50 an hour to start. That's got to change because no one's doing that.
For 15?
Yeah. And you're not going to do it. And there's a lot on your plate there. Now, you're going to be working all night long. You got to be careful you don't hit anyone or kill them with the plow. And so that's the things I hope to see. And I know it's union and all that, but you know what? It's time to try,
If they use my plastic mixed road idea.
Right, I remember that, yeah.
It will cut a lot of maintenance costs for future, and it will build stronger roads. And it will take care of a big problem with recycling.
Yeah.
So win.
Something?
Yeah. Got a comment from Nick Johnson. Is the whole show about residency? Because if that's what's important, then we're screwed. Meanwhile, waste money for the Zoom team. Our infrastructure is collapsing, roads ruined, and the list goes on. But the biggest worry is someone's address.
Right. No, and it shouldn't be.
Sounds like a job came up and she knew the rules, laughing my ass off. This is just reaching for bullshit now. This show is like a tabloid.
Not at all. If you moved in 6 weeks ago, I think that's an issue. You're not involved with the community like you should be. That's what I'm going to state. Actually, we stopped talking about that about
a while ago. Yeah.
Ago, so I don't understand how you think it's the whole show.
And when we see bullshit, we're going to call out bullshit.
Yeah.
Well,
Six
we
weeks
just
ago, you move in. Come on.
We were just talking about DPW.
Right.
We were just bringing that up. I mean, we're just talking about how we have no plow drivers, and that's why we were so buried in this one snow we had, because they're not paying these guys enough money to make it worth their time. Around the country, it's at least $20 an hour to start with a CDL license. So. Reaching? No, there's nothing to reach for. To be honest with you, I said it earlier, and this, whatever you want to do. That is the most minor thing when we're talking about that candidate's, thing, was that. And the point is, residency does mean something, because if you have rules, you're not going to follow them, then the hell with it.
John
No rules.
Fidel makes a great point also, that if you're going to go around the residency laws, you're lying under oath. If you're going to claim that you live somewhere, and meanwhile you've got a $250,000 house somewhere else that's just suddenly not yours anymore.
Well, that's actually still hers. She just lives with her sister-in-law now.
Right, she prefers...
I guess she's renting the big house out. I don't know. I don't know. But
That's up for our viewers to decide.
Right.
You know,
if you don't care,
care,
fine. You vote for her. You do what you got to do. I don't give a damn. I don't care if you vote. Vote for her. Vote for whoever you want. But you'll know what's happening at least. And that's what you'll do. And if you don't like it, hey, you don't have to watch this. There's many other places you can go. I don't know what else to tell you, but actually there isn't, because no one else does this. Right. Go watch Vincenello and see if you get any of this. You'll get nothing. And that's where you can go to get all your information. That's where you can go to
be told what people want you to know.
And you can do whatever. It's great. Everything's great on the Vincenello show.
If you love watching victim shamers, go support Janelle. Go support Nick D'Angelo.
Right.
Go talk to Peter Green.
Yes, go talk to your buddies.
All the douchebags out
there. Yeah, and you go ahead. And you know what? Enjoy it.
We have a comment.
Don't expect us not to call you out, though.
Right.
Right, yeah. Damon Grant. Is the mayor of Niagara Falls a made position, a puppet place, or can an outsider actually win it? I have the same question towards all elected positions. Do we have confirmed clean elections here or not? Can anybody confirm either way?
I'll tell you right now, they're not. Not that I can go back to when I was on the radio. I tell the story all the time. We had an election, and they did. The voting at that time was done by ballot, literally like by clicking the, going inside with the booth, and ballots were cast. Overnight, they got to be brought up to Lockport because that's where they had to be verified. Man wakes up the morning after, this would be Wednesday. He walking his dog. He looks in the ravine. There's a box. It's full of ballots. And you can check this out on the Gazette. They did do a story on it, but then the story went away. No, you can't be elected here until people stop with the connections. This is what I try to say, is you can see the connections of who people are. And if you ever smack one of them, and I don't mean physically, in a voter's booth, in the voting thing, they get shook up. And that's the only way this will stop. But yes, it's connected. It's horrible. It's corrupt.
A lot of people talk about, many a conservative idea, especially, is IDs when voting. More restrictions basically on the voter. But John, you know my story. Yeah. I won an election, but I had to prove I won an election. Right. And whose fault was it? It wasn't the voters.
Nope.
It was the Board of Elections who didn't count my votes.
Right.
And was this personally done to keep a third party out of the general election?
Seems like it. Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it.
You can't mess up on a total of 25 different votes.
No.
Yeah, I know.
And I have a majority of them, and I don't win.
And you don't win.
I have to go there and prove I won. And it took 3 months for the Lockport Union Sun and Journal to post the story about it.
Yeah. Yeah, because these things aren't important to anybody. And this is why, and I'm glad that's a good question, because the younger people that are now running, and those that have never run before, you got to learn. You got to learn who supports the mayor, who supports this guy, who's connected to who. And then you decide, do I want to be connected to Watazics? Do I want to be connected to the mayor? Do I want to be connected to whoever the Democrat is? That's what you want to find out. And it's your call.
Right.
It's your call. And, until people that aren't connected run and refuse to be connected and will actually say, I don't, you know what, you endorsed me, fine, but I don't want it, thank you, but I don't want it.
It seems like there's no place for them. Like, like the Green Party, I was able to go in there and, create, help build my voice, and they helped me a lot. But now we lost that. I mean, what is there for people? It's almost like if they try to get in to help, it's like they are bombarded by these people, by the established, to get into the system. So basically what you got to do, everybody, if you don't want to get into that system, is you need to come to talk to me and John and Robin here, where we can work independently for you, maybe try to help you out if you're for the right
place. No doubt about it. Yes, because you can't... The only way this ends is if there's going to be no parties except Republican and Democrat. People got to go no party. People got to just be independent, and that's it. And you got to go with it.
And you got to stop thinking that the working families and conservative parties
they're nothing.
Are not the Democrats.
Independents are an arm of the GOP.
Puppets.
Yeah, they're the puppets. And we got to. I think someone's here. A special guest.
Yeah. Before a surprise guest, Susanna Riccio says the mayor must walk out of his nicely manicured neighborhood and step over the homeless just to get to work downtown. But
Right.
he was front and center kissing people at the Black Lives Matter deal on Pine Avenue with his sidekick Kenny
Yes.
Tompkins.
Kenny Tompkins,
Which
yeah.
was just a show because we seen what happened at both of the Lockport and Niagara Falls.
Right, yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. That for
I mean,
yeah.
And who was standing there taking the picture of Mayor Roman kneeling in front of me where she damn near could have kissed me. That's how close
Oh,
she
no.
was. She only was like that for 10 seconds because she was posing for a picture for the Niagara Reporter. And
Nick D'Angelo's taking the shot.
D'Angelo's
Yeah,
taking the
he's
shot.
taking the picture. Yep. Are you gonna? We got someone showed up here. Come on, you got. I'm gonna get the chair.
Yeah, grab a
I'm gonna
chair.
grab a chair. Yeah, come over here and sit down with us. Our guest is. Well, tell them who it is.
This is Noelle Del Zappo. She was here just a couple
There you go.
weeks ago.
Hi.
Hello.
We
Noelle.
started off
Hi.
the show talking about
That's
the fundraiser for Janelle Messer
Oh, yeah.
Basso,
Oh,
and
yeah.
how nicely that went until her performance at the end.
Oh, messy messer is what I
Yeah.
say. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sped here. Yeah, the fundraiser. It
That's
went.
great.
It was really good, and we had no negative feedback from anybody except for her people.
Right.
Basically, yeah, her people.
Yeah,
So-
because everyone on the street were great to
Yeah.
us. The police were great to us.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
stopped and shook our hands.
Yeah, the police had to keep doing what we're doing.
And of-
Literally.
And of course, we find another victim.
Yeah.
Which is all the time.
I know.
It's just nonstop. A victim. I mean, it doesn't stop here.
I know,
And then
it's sad.
we found out so much that night.
Yeah.
I mean, we really did.
Oh
and
yeah. Ran into somebody.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff. And then and then you see all the people like we were talking earlier that stopped and actually talked to you or your mother or to somebody, and it was great.
It was.
I'm proud of
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of it.
It was really good, except just from her people that were causing issues. And I was, you know what, I was a little, I wasn't surprised. I was actually happy that, like, one of the police officers said, legit, like, nobody likes them or
Yeah.
agrees with what they're doing. Like, they're really not good people. So to keep putting the spotlight on them.
Yeah.
That's coming from a police officer.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do, and that's what we intend to do, to keep letting people know. And I mean, if people choose in their own heads that they don't want to believe and they, want to victim shame or they want to just accuse us of outright lying, then
yeah.
let them live with their consciences. But
Yeah.
we're going to put everything out there so that people can make an informed choice.
Yeah, it's crazy that, like, even with, like, the proof that we put out there, like, I've been telling people, we can't show you all the proof because a lot of it's, like, in the police's hands, and but with just the proof, the proof that we provided, like, isn't that, like, enough to, like, show that she's a criminal along with Nick?
Mm-hmm.
People just surprise me, but it's not like just people; it's mostly just her people. is what
Right,
it
and
is.
if you haven't seen this proof that we have yet, you can always send us an email, shoot a message on there. We'll gladly message you the files that we have with Nick D'Angelo and Janelle Faso, changing Faso's name back to Faso. We have many articles
yet
that will
another-
show everything that Noelle is saying.
Yeah.
Another connection of Janelle's is to her husband, Hugh Messer, who raped a young girl when he was a sheriff at Niagara Wheatfield Schools.
And that's
So,
confirmed. We're not saying anything
Yeah,
out
that's-
of line
right,
here.
that's-
That's public knowledge.
public knowledge, it's out there.
That she was hoping nobody would see.
Right.
Yeah, and that's the belief of why she was so quick to make sure Messer was not part of her name, was so that she wouldn't be connected to that.
Yeah,
And
Only to drive around with Nick D'Angelo.
right. Get caught.
yeah, I mean, and then we'll move on. You know what? We got. You can help me with another story that's coming up. Okay, it's the little bakery.
Oh,
We'll
yeah.
talk
How
about
many
that.
days has it been?
What?
I remember we used to have the countdown.
Oh,
like,
yeah, we
every,
stopped
Oh, I
because
know.
no one
It's
wants
got to
to
be
hear
like.
me.
It's got to be like.
Well, it's almost
200 something.
Well, yeah, because it was in June of last year when they were robbed, and then
So we're coming up on almost
a
like
year soon.
year,
You know,
It's crazy though with a robbery. Janelle planned out a robbery too for her
Oh.
her cameras to get destroyed with all the evidence after she found out there was an investigation going. So those cameras that would have had basically everything on it for her office with Nick D'Angelo, there's a lot of incidents. Like my incident happened in there. Cameras, the next day she found out there was an investigation, got destroyed. They never found out who the person was, like some type of
How convenient.
yeah.
and how is it okay?
Right.
Like, how is it okay? And how is it not reported? It's nowhere in the page. Like, no one said
nowhere.
that. That's
Nowhere.
incredible.
Who does all this stuff? It's the Hamburglar?
Yeah, it is him. Yes. And you know what else before we go to the bakery? I got to say just one more thing about this whole thing that's going on. Number one, if D'Angelo ends up being found guilty, he's going to go down in history as one of the largest serial rapists our county's ever seen. And there's more. There's more to come. If he's found, okay, fine. But then think about, and God, people that you trust in this situation are just out of control. You just can't believe the nonsense that you see. I mean, I've never seen anything like this, and it's underreported. This is an incredible story.
Yeah.
It really is.
I wonder how many people know about the teachers, like dozens of teachers from the Niagara Falls school system.
15.
90s, right?
Yeah.
90s that was happening.
During the 90s, and Paul Barr, who's a great attorney, put out a post on Facebook, and he said he's had so many people respond and corroborate stories that they too were abused.
Yeah.
It made me come forward with a story about one, because I felt like, if somebody else is saying that, I can't leave them out there by themselves. I have to stick up for them and say, hey, the same thing happened to me.
Yeah, because everybody wants to think, like, if it's just one person, oh, that can't be true. But then you see all these other girls now, or boys come forward, and it's, it's believable, which it should be believable just one person alone, but it makes other people feel more comfortable to, show what happened was real.
Yeah.
And, it's just this story, like I was just saying, it should be it's almost like national. I mean, if this was in a big city, this would be unbelievable.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, I'm talking like if this was happening in Chicago, New York, or something, LA. I don't even know what to say. This is so intertwined with government, with the elected, with the craziness that's happening.
Corruption.
Every day we find a new player who is twisted.
Right.
Every single day, and we don't even mention it because there's so many. Eventually we do get to them, but think of such a twisted, and you've been you're right in the middle of that twist.
Yeah.
I mean, right in the middle.
You know what I found out too is when I was looking up a few things, and with the whole incident with the animal abuse thing, not the SPCA incident, but with the one girl with her dogs got abused and killed by her sister-in-law's whatever. Even she was saying, we couldn't get the story out anywhere. We were like crying for help, and they blocked all the news stations, the media. They did not want it to get out. So they were having a hard time getting out from the media. So she said, just keep pushing as much as you could on social media, whatever you can, because these people are evil and they will try to block it. They have those connections. So
Yeah.
And speaking of a story that has gotten no coverage whatsoever, and we'll talk about it. I promised I would, because I mean, I feel sometimes I get frustrated because, of course, no one will pick this up. No one will care. The little bakery.
But everybody cares about it.
You notice the connections with that, Nick D'Angelo and Janelle Foster, those aren't why out of all three, those incidents, out of everything, aren't getting put out there by the news. Like, just those three, you know what I mean? They're all somehow connected.
We had the little bakery incident. We have the D'Angelo incident. We had an incident with a group trying to recruit hate down at the neck. Right? We had. I'm forgetting one.
We had a pedophile incident.
Yeah, I mean, craziness. No one reports it.
A few pedophile incidents.
Right, a few, and it's just insanity that they don't want to report it. The Niagara Falls Gazette, the Buffalo News even stays away from it. And
we're 4 months in, and I love doing this.
Yeah.
Because we're going after the people that need to be gone after.
Well, I told you today, I told John today that my dad had just came back from a car place. And there was 5 guys there, and then one of their wives, and they said, hey, guys, we watch everything that's going on with Faso and D'Angelo and what you guys are doing, John and Wade and Robin. They're like, tell them to please keep doing what they're doing. We watch it all the time. Somebody needs to speak out against those people. They all agree that they're assholes. And excuse my language.
No, it's okay.
They all agree that they're assholes. They're like, but what John and all them are doing is helping so much. Tell them not to stop. So those are, you know what I mean? There's more people who notice it. It's just they don't really say anything, which I wish they kind of would. It's not fair to keep it on one person, but no, it's They said keep doing it. So
kind of feels like my perfect time to talk about my quote about the dicks, pussies, and assholes.
Oh yeah, well I don't know if we can. Oh no, that was a wild night. Yeah, all hell broke loose. But now the little bakery, we know
surveillance of that, right?
Yeah, let's look at it.
Yeah, let's check it out.
It's a short video. Enjoy.
Enjoy.
I can talk.
Yeah.
Right over this. Well, here we go. We can do the play-by-play. Watch.
Oh, look at that little window in the background.
Now,
Yeah.
which one is this with robberies? Oh.
This is the big one. There goes something. This guy, he takes that out. Here comes this guy here. This guy, same guy. He's taking that. He's throwing things around. And he's gone. And there he goes.
Rubble.
Yeah. And there he goes.
Okay.
And then in the other, I know there's another one, but I didn't even bother getting it, where the guy like is looking around. I think he grabs a pop and out of the thing and drinks.
Oh
it.
yeah, the one where he like had the key, went in with the key, like kind of knew what to do, doing like the little tippy toe step, like try and make it look dramatic.
Right.
You know, it bugs me because he has the guy has messaged me a few times, acting like what's going on, trying to get into the business of Janelle and Nick and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And it's funny because then I look and he's hurting their shit like right after all their stuff, and it's like, you think I'm that dumb? Like, I know exactly what you're doing.
Now these guys. Well, let's talk about who they are. I mean, Gosh, I didn't write her name down, and I can't believe it. I'm forgetting the name of the woman who actually is on the paperwork of the little bakery. I just forgot her name. I had it. It was in my head. It's gone. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
She is on the paperwork, is owning all this stuff. Her, I think, no, not husband, it was just boyfriend. His name is James Conte. His father, I believe, is Jason Conte, who was a policeman who had some issues with road rage and some other nutty stuff going on. So he is the actual, really, owner, but I think he can't put his name on stuff for a reason,
right.
So he doesn't put his name on things. Samantha Bassett, there it is. She's the owner. She also used to do. She was also owned Super Clips at one time, but now that's her name. She owns the bakery. 8803 Buffalo Avenue gets bought by them, and this is a story I can't get too. See, this is the mean. There's some things I just can't get too far into because I'm concerned
see what he
for
does
others.
here, though? He gets his like facts straight before he says anything. It's not like he just makes this up or you guys make this up. They do like the work and before they mention stuff for a long time.
And we always ask for permission before we use any information. People give us information all the time.
We're sitting on
that
so
we're just
much.
sitting on, and we will not air that if they don't give us permission.
No, there's so much we're sitting on. But like in this situation here, I know how far I can go, but I know this. They made $40,000 from GoFundMe. They had the sheriff, the mayor, multiple police agencies, the city council. They came down there and gave them an undisclosed amount of money. We don't know what it was. And it was so much that they needed a police escort to the bank. So you see that we had, I didn't bring up the video because there's no point. And
see, there's like a new RV and a few cool
ATVs,
really
and
expensive stuff, but
and 8803 Buffalo Avenue.
I don't see anybody ever there.
No,
nobody. Like I live like right there. I've only seen like it one time open, and I drive by like all the time.
I think people got to start waking up on this story, and I'm sorry I touched on it, but then there's other things that happen, and you keep on moving, and then no one wants to talk about this, but then when we do, I think the funny thing is the rumbling, really, and on the on the street, on the internet, whatever, is wondering about it.
Yeah, it's like they're frustrated because they didn't hear about this. Like it's being blocked. I mean,
and
people deserve to know.
The other thing is, they had multiple police agencies down there. They have a surveillance camera. I can't believe, with all the love for the little bakery, they couldn't catch them. You know what I mean? They couldn't find them.
More than once.
I mean, geez.
It's good to know people, huh?
This guy has got to be some heck of a burglar. I mean,
I wonder why Nick's his lawyer.
Yeah, right. So let's move on real quick to another story, and I'll tell you about this one. Okay. This is a sad story. This is, and Wade, you're gonna have to. You got a lot. You were more involved in this, being here in Lockport. Let me make sure I say this name right. I always butcher it. And it's an easy name. Troy Hodge. Troy Hodge. If people don't know, and just jump in if I say this wrong. Troy Hodge died on June 16th, 2019.
June 17th.
17th,
2019.
Okay. Here's what I know, and just step in. Mr. Hodge went to his mother's house, and I believe her name is Fatima, on Park Place in Lockport.
Correct.
Mrs. Hodge calls 911 on her son because he was acting erratically, so she's looking for help. When the police arrived, Mr. Hodge was in the driveway. The Lockport PD detains him, Mr. Hodge. He breaks now this is LPD.
Alleged.
This is the alleged things that the Lockport police say. That he breaks away from the two officers, and he has a knife.
Yeah.
They observe.
But there was no knife ever.
This is what the paper told
Yeah,
us
I
just
know.
recently. They dislodged the knife. Backup comes. He is detained. Officer Benito places her foot on Hodge's neck and shoulder for 1 minute and 25 seconds. Hodge becomes motionless and silent. And this is the part of the video, if you ever get to see it,
Disgusting.
that's insane. The EMT comes, and actually the mother yells out, "Is
Don't
he
kill my
okay?"
son,
Yeah, and she
yeah.
says also, "Is he okay?"
Right.
And they go, "Oh, he's just napping." So then the EMTs come, and that's what they tell the EMT.
Yeah.
And the last word you see, the last word you hear on the video is, "No,
He's not sleeping.
he's not sleeping. He has no pulse."
Right.
What the EMT says to the police. And then we're done. Yeah. And the Attorney General of the state of New York said no crime was committed in that death of Mr. Hodge. And all that she recommends is that the Lockport police discontinue the use of their own in-house 911 and go with Niagara County Dispatch. So, because communication, they feel, between Lockport police and the EMT failed. I don't know. Maybe it did. I wouldn't know.
If you have a person who is you have him in basically custody if he is handcuffed, there is no reason to continue to tase. And there was... It's happening a lot in Lockport where cops really just go way too far. I was pulled over at gunpoint for going the speed limit, and one of them cops who pulled me over at gunpoint for going the speed limit and apparent bad weather conditions, even though it wasn't, is one of the cops who was also involved with the Troy Hodge case. Now, I have spoken out about this numerous times, and I feel like throwing up. My stomach is turned over our Attorney General's decision. If I was the mayor, there would be an internal investigation because I would be holding our chief of police. And I can't. The mayor can't fire these officers, but damn well she could fire the chief of police.
Right.
I want an internal investigation, and if that doesn't get done, see you later. I'll find a new chief of police.
And I think the biggest thing you got to know is what are the rules. Like, because I know, like, I was watching the thing in Minneapolis, and it was just recent with the George Floyd thing. They were allowed to put their thing on their neck. Like, that was okay with their police department. Like, it wasn't even a problem. I don't know what Lockport police is teaching. We don't know.
No.
But I think someone should find out, maybe. Because maybe that's where we go from here. I mean, because we can't bring back these horrible incidents that happened. But, like, are we ever going to go forward? Because there's going to be new police. And you got to train. It's got to be different. And I'm not even saying, okay, don't carry a gun, all that stuff. I don't agree there. But, like, the thing with putting your knee on the guy's neck.
Yeah.
Is that...
That's like caused, like, so far, well, like, how many deaths just
I know.
alone? Just putting your knee on somebody's neck?
And here is another story, Noelle and everybody, that is being hidden.
Yes.
We talked about the ones in the falls. Think about it. This is George Floyd.
This is George
in
Floyd,
Lockport,
but in
New York.
Lockport, right?
In
See,
Lockport.
I never heard about it until just now.
See?
Literally, that's my first time
And
hearing
she's
about
connected all over,
Yeah.
watching things, listening to things.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Quiet.
Do you think a radio station around here covered that? No. Do you think any? Well, there's no podcast but us now. So
ABC, the local ABC did something.
Did they?
A couple weeks ago. Yeah, but really, it's just everything is. I'm surprised that happened.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that happened.
well, that's like with the thing at the courthouse
yeah.
with Noelle. What we got
Just-
Channel 4,
and they didn't even want to be
No,
there.
he didn't. No, he was.
That guy did not want to be
No,
there.
he was an asshole.
What?
We've got Nick Johnson here again.
All right. Well, all right. Go ahead.
He said they did catch the guy for the little
No, they
bakery.
didn't.
FYI, his name is Joseph Sturdivant.
And
I don't
how
know
does he know?
Can you prove that with three?
No,
proofs
how
of
do we?
facts?
No, how do we know? It's never been reported.
Yeah, I never.
No one, and I would imagine if they'd have caught the guy, we would have had a big parade. I mean, the joy, we'd have probably, you know what I mean? It would have been a big deal.
I never heard of that one.
People would have been knighted, I
For
think.
both
And that brings up
robberies,
another
or-
point on how, like, the Gazette is the Niagara Falls doesn't report crimes. Basically,
That's not true, because
Well,
they...
which robbery did? Which one?
Yeah, is he talking about the main one from after in June?
There was two, correct?
Yeah, and then there was one where the guy stole the tip jar, and then there was another one where another guy, and then there was the big one, where things that were supposedly allegedly destroyed. I have anonymous sources that tell me it wasn't. Mm-hmm. I have anonymous sources that are saying a lot, that are afraid, and that's fine. I understand, but
Yeah, I mean, I've heard from people who would know this for a fact that it's
not right.
basically planned out. So.
It's not right, and I don't know. But these are anonymous sources,
Yeah.
so there's only so far we can go. But I can say it; they're anonymous, and I believe they want it. They have to be because they're afraid
Freedom
for
of speech.
Yeah, and they're afraid of repercussions. Yeah. So I don't believe that they tried to pin it on those people in Gasport. It was that couple. It was a black male and I think a white female. They tried to blame it on them, and because they robbed something in Gasport. And then all of a sudden, I think it was a little bakery themselves threw it up and said, "Hey, there they are. They got them. That's the people."
You know they were at my house. Them same people you're talking about.
Them that were here.
They
yes.
robbed. Them people robbed a car in Medina. They're from Gasport. Robbed a car in Medina. They get caught in Rochester. Get brought back to Niagara County Jail. Get released that same day. Less than 24 hours. 2:00 in the morning.
That's right.
They're trying to open my door.
Yep.
What?
And I live on like the quietest road.
Yeah.
Like what the hell's going on?
Nice
We're
road.
at Target over here, actually.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
But I'm just like that. Those two people they didn't do it because you don't think that the Niagara Falls Reporter would have had a parade. You don't think the police themselves, with the way Caroline Watazik danced out on the day they gave him the money, she danced out of there like I've never seen anything like that before. I mean, so happy.
Coco beware.
Yeah, sort of. If you're an old wrestling fan, yes. Just going wild. People were hugging. You'd have thought they won, like I said, Publishers Clearinghouse. They won a big check.
I've never heard somebody winning or getting that much money for a robbery.
And I have an anonymous source that told me, and I can't go too far in this because I think it would reveal. So what I'm going to say is that a lot of people used to walk up there and give $1, $2, and these people didn't have anything. Like, it was like neighborhood, like people that aren't, and they're giving like $2. People are giving $5. I mean, it's
instead of being able to buy themselves a loaf of bread.
Well, they're giving it away over there. How are they giving everything away? They give it away.
I mean, I know there's nice people in the world, but not like so like
giving
out that much.
I've neglected this story so much because of everything else that goes on, and I don't know where else to turn.
Because I feel like they're so connected to all the same people. It's like they don't really want to believe it because it's those same people that are covering it all.
Go take a look at. I'll never forget this. I've said it before. There was a surveillance camera. That footage right there that we showed, and there was like two other. I talked to Mark Scheer at the time he was at the Gazette. He saw that on the reporter's page, on their Facebook page, and he said he went. What you're supposed to do is if you go ask the police if you can do it first. So before you can release it. And he goes to the police and says that, and they go, "What surveillance camera? We don't have any footage." But the reporter had the footage before the police had the footage.
Yeah, no, that's
So what is that?
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, that's stuff that's being told.
right.
I mean, but no one wants to say it. No one wants to do anything about it. And we all can't do it. What are we going to do? But just keep on yapping and saying it. But
Well,
when will the police...
Sometimes that's what it takes, and then one person hears it that didn't hear us the time before that knows something, and they come forward, and it all...
Where's an investigator? Where are they?
That would be nice, but...
I have another anonymous source, and I can only say it's within the Niagara Falls Police Department, and a retired recently, who sent me a message saying, "Keep up the work, a lot of us know." What that means, I don't know, but okay. I said, all right, great. No questions are asked. It's just complete silence.
Yeah.
Listen,
Get to the root of everything, like who's...
and you want corruption. You want to know about mayors. Like, that was a good question.
Mm-hmm.
You will never have anyone not connected, because when you're allowing all 5 of these things now that we're talking about to go on, with, in Niagara Falls, there's like 4. You got Troy Hodge here, and probably a lot more in Lockport that I don't even know. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's a lot of things that we just don't know.
Sure, in North Tonawanda.
Oh, and North Tonawanda's out of yeah. There's all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, even
there.
with the Mariah State thing, the family had to like beg for them to keep putting that in the spotlight.
That's another.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. She was. We always talk about Mariah Sade. She was just. It's the saddest thing, and the landlord doesn't pay any price for what he's done.
He goes after the family.
Yeah.
What a fucking piece of shit.
That's how fucked up landlords are. Even my friend Elena, the one who had cancer.
Yeah. And has the cutest little boy.
I know, my God. I can't believe he's 1. She found out, like, in her apartment building that she saw that there's, like, a few different types of cancer-causing mold. She wanted her security deposit back. So she took the landlord to court, and he goes, it's not my fault. She got cancer. Something like that. And he did, like, I mean, that's a slumlord. And I guess there's been other people in those apartment buildings that have gotten really sick from it. But there you go. That's a slumlord. They get away with stuff.
It's ridiculous.
And they're never going to stop it. You'll never have a mayor like the mayor. Like, we keep on recycling them. And, this mayor is no different than the last mayor. It was no different than the last mayor. The only difference with a couple mayors ago, Anello, is he went too far.
Right.
And now he finally had to get caught.
And people, if you don't start paying attention to who you're voting for and who they're connected to, the next mayor is going to be like this mayor and the following one.
That's why these
and
stories.
Your grandkids' mayor and their kids'
But this
mayors.
is why these stories are so important to not let go, because it's part of it, like Noelle said, that it goes to the city hall. It goes to the DA's office. It goes to judges. I mean,
and you can see that obviously we keep our sources confidential here unless they allow us to use their names. So if anyone ever has any information about anything going on in our community, bring it to us and we'll look into it.
Well, look at the sheriff, what happened there with our current sheriff. Now, I will give him this. Let me say this first. From what I understand, his son has been picked up for DWI before, but not charged. Always allowed to just go away. Okay. This last time, same thing. The Lewiston police, I believe it was going to allow him to go sleep it off somewhere. Well, from what I understand, on the way to sleeping it off, or at the fire station, he hit something with his car. And this time, from what I understand, anonymous sources, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right, but it's anonymous. Someone tells me this, and they believe it to be. Tell me that this time the sheriff did not let it go.
Yes.
That he did say enough's enough, and that's good, because obviously the guy needs help.
Right,
in some way.
Maybe he realized, it's a good thing that he didn't kill someone or himself.
Yeah.
And, hopefully that put it in his mind, like, maybe my kid's going to get in trouble, but maybe that's what he needs.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost feel, I don't feel bad. I just feel like if he did this, you just hope that maybe, like, even though he's the sheriff and all that, maybe just, like, somehow it just turned over a new leaf on him for some reason.
Right.
Because he did the thing he should have done before.
Right.
But, I don't know.
Continues.
But this is all the stuff. This is all the stuff that Niagara County has to offer. And no one, and us fine, but what about, really, the newspaper is still big. Online newspapers, right? People read their stuff online. The only one that's reporting things is the Reporter, which is horrible.
Yeah.
And then, you know what else I noticed about the Reporter? You guys notice this? They are the only ones that seem to be getting crime reports.
Oh yeah.
They're putting out information that I don't see in any other, even the Buffalo News.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they have an issue with the police lately? They wanted to stop the reports or something.
Yes, the mayor wanted to put an end to the police reporting.
Yeah.
I think that's not happening. I believe that I think the mayor actually backed off.
Yeah.
And but the weird thing is, though, the Reporter always has the stories.
Oh yeah.
Always. Where the Gazette doesn't really. And I mean, they're everywhere. They're everywhere, and they know everything. Mm-hmm. So that's a big problem. Yeah. The Niagara Action, all that stuff. Yeah. It's a big problem that you got these people, connected people,
Which also Nick D'Angelo is managing editor for, and then he owns the Niagara Action page now.
Isn't that amazing? They bought. I wish someone would buy my page. I mean, think about it. They're buying it for good money.
$10,000 from what I heard.
Oh, I'd do
a Facebook page?
I know. I never heard.
I'll make you a few of them.
Yeah, right.
So desperate for a lot of these stories not to get out that's what they're doing.
And I think the people out there that criticize Noelle, us, I guess, in a way, but mostly Noelle, really, come on. Listen, watch, look, anything. I know it's hard because they don't put the stuff out there, but...
It's kind of like when they were telling me in the beginning when I first came out with this Nicholas D'Angelo stuff, everyone was, victim shaming. That's what you saw in the papers. Mm-hmm. Victim shaming, she's a liar, da-da-da. Then what do you know? All these women came forward, and boom, there's 12 charges, including a minor.
Right.
But there was nothing after that, nothing.
Yeah, nobody retracts that.
Yeah, it's
or
like
tells you they're sorry.
Right, they were just upset that they got caught lying, being scumbags.
Yeah.
Well, I think we have hit...
The moral of the story is that people need to tune in here if they want to know what's going on.
Well, we'll try. We'll try because we don't have the advantages like the reporter does. We don't have that, so we have to really figure it out.
Like $1 million to start paying people off.
Yeah, so we can't get the stories, but they certainly like to trash and make us sound like you just had the guy last night from the place we used to work at. He put out a stupid thing and about us, and it was just stupid. And, he puts that out there. Why?
Yeah, for what reason?
Because he's an attention whore.
Yeah, and there's no reason. There was no reason for it, and...
No, everything was so quiet, too. Yeah. And, everyone was minding their business, and then there was unnecessary. It was.
I'm going to use that for my last word.
What? Oh, okay, right. Let's go around. Let's do that now, because we're running... We ran late, now we're over time. Let's wrap it up. And then we're going to all do it. Last word?
I'll start. Okay. We tried to be kind. We really did. We didn't. We stopped attacking people who were attacking us in the past.
Relentless,
exactly. But then just what was it, a day or two ago, where they're just being terrible again. Not only to us, but what we found out with shaming another rape victim. It is. We're not going to allow it. We do not forgive. We do not forget. You should expect us.
Yeah. Robin?
Couldn't have said it better as far as that goes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in tonight and always, and for all your suggestions about what you want to talk about. And make sure that you tune in Friday night to Goal Getters. It's always a great show with John and John Fidel. Tune in at 6 o'clock on Friday nights. Tell your friends it's the biggest growing sports show in Western New York.
Noelle, say something last word for us.
I just want to say, first of all, everybody can share this because the stories and the truth that these guys and women are putting out here are important, more important than people realize. And, the more that this gets shared, the more people that could get together and help. Also, if you guys know anybody else who was affected by Nicholas D'Angelo, please come forward. You could even message, John, Robin, Wade, me, and we will get you to the right people. Stay confidential. We'll get you to the people that can help you. Last thing is vote for Dominic Saraceno.
Speaking, he'll be here next week, which we look forward to talking to him. I can't wait to get to know him because I don't know him.
Definitely.
Yeah.
My last word. This will be a quick last word. Then I got to read my numbers, and then we're gonna have to sign off. My last word is this. Be careful what you wish for. Probably don't want to start poking at us right now. There's a lot of things that have changed, and it's not going to be like last time. Wait, it won't be.
No.
It's not going to be what happened over Thanksgiving and through Christmas and through the New Year.
No, our Christmas spirit is gone.
This is not going to go down this way. So go ahead, do what you got to do. But I'm telling you, it'll be direct. And it'll be fast, and we're not waiting anymore.
Right,
so
we're going to expose you.
Yeah, so you might want to watch, and
you got a lot of things to expose.
I think they got a lot of things to explain after what I just saw.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we'll get into next week. Let me read my numbers real quick, because I find they're important. The YWCA, let me get the number first, 716-433-6714. Now, they are... a great place. They have advocates. They have counselors that will counsel you at home. from your house. You don't have to leave. Advocates that will walk with you to if you got to go to the hospital, if you got to go to the police station, to court. This is if you were ever abused sexually, if you were ever raped, if you any of that as a child, as an adult, whatever it is, you're currently being abused. Here's another good thing about them. You know somebody who's been abused, and and you can't it's kind of hard as being the person who's support. Call them. I did it myself, and they talked. The counselors were great. They made it clear. It made you feel better. 716-433-6714 is a great place, the YWCA.
And they'll do it all right from your home.
And it's free. RAIN with an extra N, 1-800-656-4673. Another number that is anonymous. It will, same thing. If you've been abused as a child, if you've been abused as an adult, you're currently being abused, call them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Everything's free. They will help you. Don't forget about mental health, 1-800-662-4357. People have anxiety, depression, all those things. There's someone there to talk to. Will help you. 1-800-662-4357. Thank you for everyone that tuned in with us. Sorry that we got on late. We will be better next time. All right, everybody. Take care.
Good night, everyone.